Today we will be going over section 2.5 in your book. First, we're going to talk about a postulate. A postulate is a statement that describes a relationship between basic terms of geometry. Basically, a postulate is something that we accept as true, but we cannot use deductive reasoning to prove to be true. You are going to look at some postulates by doing the activity. Now we're going to talk about the steps needed in order to write a proof. The first step is to take your conjecture and rewrite it in if-then form. You want to put this in if-then form because that helps you to determine what is the hypothesis of your conjecture and what is the conclusion of your conjectures. Conjectures should always be conditionals, but they aren't always written in if-then form. So the first step should be to rewrite the conjecture in if-then form. Your second step in writing a proof should always be to draw and label a picture according to your if-then statement. We want to label the picture because we need to use specific names for our next step. For example, if your picture includes a line, you should give that line a name. And if there are points on your lines, you should give those points names, such as point A or point B. The third step in writing a proof is to state. This means you're going to write given, and after the given statement, you will write the hypothesis. Of the conjecture you're trying to prove. You will also write prove and write the conclusion of the conjecture you're trying to prove. This step is extremely important in the writing of a proof. Make sure when you write the hypothesis you're specific. Use the labels that you put in step 2 for your hypothesis and the conclusion. Your if-then statement will be general, but when you write given and prove, you want to use the actual object names that you put in your picture. This step helps you to know what information you know when you start and when you are finished with your proof. Once you have repeated this exact proof statement and have a reason for your proof, then you will be finished with your proof. Step 4 is plan. This happens in your head or in a discussion with your group. This is where you decide, this is the given information that I have. What can I do with that, and what conclusions can I make to get me to what I'm trying to prove? There's no writing involved with this, only thinking through what you're going to do or talking with your group about what you're going to do. The final step is to write the actual proof. We will be practicing these 5 steps many times in this class until you can do them well on your own or with a partner. Things that you definitely need when you write a proof. You have to state your conjecture that you're trying to prove. You want to list the given information, and remember that comes from the hypothesis of your conjecture. If it's not already done for you, you should always draw a picture in a proof. You always need to state what's being proved because this will tell you when your proof is finished. And you always need a plan. Steps 4 and 5 you will probably go back and forth with. You'll start with a plan, start writing your proof, realize that that's maybe not the way you want to go, and go back and adjust your plan. That's a wonderful way to write a proof, and you should always use this process. Make sure you read through this so that you really understand the proof process. Go ahead and pause the recording now and read through this process. Once you have proved a conjecture using definitions, postulates, properties of equality, then your conjecture becomes what is called a theorem. Theorems are statements that you can explain through proof or deductive reasoning why they are true.